They can't join our group. They can't join our group.
be of service?
Power time.
Okay. 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 Bastard. What is happening? pussies. What a juked into. No way. I didn't know. I fucking know this game, dude. Fuck. Fucking pussy's been playing it for 20 fucking years. Fucking sissy bags. I'm almost there. And I'm fucking destroying every motherfucker. I'm telling you, it's not gonna be fun for these idiots. I'm telling you right now, it's not gonna be fun. For a long time, too. And I'm gonna go hard. I can understand why PS0 does it, bro. Getting ganked the entire fucking time, dude. I'm going so fucking hard on these level 60s. It's gonna be so fucking retarded. I'm going so fucking hard on him. It's not gonna be fun. It's gonna be very toxic. It's gonna be griefy as fuck. Camping motherfuckers, bro. Seriously, not even kidding. Literally gonna camp the fucking living dog shit out of people. When I hit 60, I'll be there very soon, and then I'm ranking up, getting my gear, and I'm going to fucking absolutely annihilate every motherfucker that I see. Every single one. It's gonna be disgusting. It's gonna be so fucking gross. And then I'm gonna I'm gonna destroy their ults. They're gonna get on their mains. And I'm gonna absolutely decimate them. Make them log off. Think of another game they should play. It's not gonna be fun, man. I'm gonna be reported a lot. A lot of reports coming my way. 100%. Because I'm camping, motherfuckers. Camping. Where the fuck am I at? This place is massive. Can I just run past these guys? How are there so many people that suck at level 60? It doesn't make any sense. Does it? I guess it does. Just play every day and eventually they'll get 60. It doesn't matter if they're clicking spells or not. All you gotta do is play quests, dungeon. Don't have to be good to hit levels. It's kind of weird to me if you spend that much time. Why the fuck are we jumping in lava? What the fuck is going on here? The craziest, I'm telling you, this game has like the craziest, I don't know, fucking craziest community, I swear. Crazy fucking community. Where the fuck did they go? Very new to this place. Kinda. I mean, I've been here, but not really. Just realized that I was really playing retail WoW when I was playing pretty hardcore. I grew up playing the way to retail. I am super glad that BGs are more like a solo thing, because playing with other people is pretty fucking interesting, I'll tell you that much. 2 warriors with taunts. I don't know. They didn't taunt, I'm pretty sure. Fucking dog shit ass warriors. Gosh, warriors are so dog shit. None of them fucking tank, which is so fucking crazy, dude. Just go play a rogue. Don't be a fucking warrior DPS, be a warrior tank. Losers, bro. Seriously, it's fucking weird shit. You tank. Go be a rogue if you want a DPS. Shit, we got a tune to Molten Core. Let's go. Let's go, baby. It's about time. I know we got a little bit of time because we're gonna have to hit 60, but still. Yep. Might as well look for some DRZ groups since I'm here, actually. Fuck it. Nice. Okay. We are doomed. We can go to Molten Core.
really know that he's an online crusher too.
Yeah, plays raid a lot on Poker Stars.
Just plays
all the games, plays everything. He'll play all the games. He'll play any bind. It doesn't matter. You'll see him like Scoop comes around for example, and it's like it's a loss at the final table of like an $11 5-card draw game. Like what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
But he absolutely loves it. Ivy coming here with the limp, with a mystery hand.
On the gun, I guess. So that's that's cool, right? Because in No Limit Hold'em, for all of our viewers, right, we usually see people raise, and you see range advantage come into play, and thinning the field. But here we got Ivy limping, and notice the hand class he's limping with here. Kings with the bad suit that we just saw Bowman go out on. How will Ivy want to continue here? His hand's a little disguised, but he doesn't have a whole lot to go with it. The deuce 3 of clubs is not really a valuable flush draw, as we see it's dominated here by Krentzman isolating the king 10-7-8 double suit.
I think I'm going to play this one as a call. This is pretty much exactly how he set up the play. Doesn't want to open the kings, have to play it against a 3-bet. That would not be the best with this type of hand with kings, so he's just going to go with the limp call approach. And a positive thing for him is that he will have position on Krentzman.
And that is probably one of the most underrated things when it comes to any form of poker is position. But this is a pretty decent flop here for Krentzman as we see him flop backdoor draws front door open ender. No pair in the hand here, but lots of stuff working here for Krensman. Probably wants to continue with his aggression.
Krensman out of California has a deep run in this very event. In 2019, he finished 13, so now there's 12 left. He's already vested that finish.
And Ivy's got to love this when he gets checked to. Not that he wants to bet, but that he can peel off a free card here and try to realize his equity and get to showdown because maybe his kings are good. And now this is a spot where maybe Krensman would be aggressive. Now, he probably won't want to check raise and get all the money in here if he does face a bet because he has kind of the bottom end of the straight draw here. But this is interesting because maybe Ivy recognizes that Krensman won't want to get all the money in here. So this is a tough spot. I mean, Ivy doesn't have a lot of work. He's just got naked kings. He's got no other connectivity here to this board.
Action is on Ivy here. He has burned through one time extension.
Target.
Does check back. 5 of clubs on the turn. Interesting card, you know. Ivy does pick up a flush draw, yes, but we know it's dominated by King 10 of clubs for Krensman.
And look at this. He's picked up. I mean, he's got an open ender with the 10, right? But he's drawn to kind of the butt end. If an 8 comes, Queen 10 would beat him. He would play 10-7. But he goes ahead and he says, look, the 7-8 is very valuable here because the 6 he's drawn to the nuts and he also is drawn to the second nut flush. So he does just go ahead and pot it here. Really, the only hand he has to worry about Ivy having is top set. That's maybe the only hand Ivy would check back. I don't think Ivy would check back pocket 9s. But is the 3 high flush draw with kings worthy to see a river here? He does have the 2, 3, 4, 5 now.
He does make the call. And after what looked like a rather tame pot on the flop is now swelled up to 3.6 million. And an ace on the end. Ivy makes the wheel.
The disguised wheel, and Krensman with no showdown value here just has king high. And he's the only one that's really supposed to have pocket aces here. So we could see a bottom of the vault here from Krensman.
In the chat, RMX Indiana, one of our mods, said a non-club ace would be nice. Well, bang, because it's the ace of hearts. And Krensman comes out with 1.5 million.
1.5 with a shaky hand. I don't know if you noticed that.
And listen, if anyone's going to pick up on that, it's Phil Ivey, right?
Like, look, these guys are playing for a lot of money. You're down to 12, 11 players in a monster tournament. I've never been in a spot like this, you know, playing for this much money. So I don't know how I would do, but those are the little things you got to pick up. Now, Ivy, with the nuts. With the nuts, what more do you want here? He's burned 3 time extensions, but it doesn't matter. He's going to win this pot, regardless of what he does.
Brian Willis dropping 5 Poker Go gift memberships in the chat. Shout out Brian, well done. Ivy raises, he's all in. And a quick fold out of Krensman.
I mean, we're all rooting for Phil Ivey, right? I mean, let's be real. Like, I got some other friends in the game. Ben Land's one of my buddies. You know, I don't know these other guys personally, but who is a poker fan?
For years I have sought a certain gem. It is called the Heart of the Mountain, and it's the size of your fist. The Dark Iron Dwarves have it locked in their vault, and try as I may, they won't let me purchase it. So I must resort to force. Fight your way to the lower vault, Blackrock depths, breach its secret safe, and gain the heart. To do that, you must defeat Watchman Doomgrip, and he won't appear until you've opened every relic coffer in the vault. Good luck.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, hard for Ivy to have 2-3 there. That's why guys are wondering, like, what the hell did you have it?
That's the problem.
Big block.
All right, chat. I know you guys are
he does.
All here rooting for Ivy. Heck, maybe you're rooting against him. I don't know. Where does Ivy rank on your all-time list?
Good question.
I want to know. I want to know. Is he the all-time great in your mind? You know, so many players. I think, you know, I'm safe to say that, including Daniel Negreanu, who is a good friend of Phil Ivey, says that he is the greatest. So we know he is currently second in the bracelet race. Helmuth has 17. Ivey's got 11. Ivy is going for number 12 right here. Where does Ivy rank? Is he the GOAT to you?
See the chats roll.
I mean, it's just not GOAT. It's GOAT and 1. That's pretty much all it is.
And Ivy here, pretty good hand. Ace Jack 8-3 double suited against a small blind limp. He is gonna ISO.
Moderator Russell on the Poker Go chat said, we all want Ivy. Obama says Ivy on Mount Rushmore. Brown saying number 1. Spooky said, I mean, top 3. I mean, come on, what? What's the shade for?
Top three is
Flash
reasonable.
Lance, Ivy is the absolute greatest. Campo says 1 is Stewie, 2 is Ivy.
And this is quite the interesting flop. Now, bottom 2, and No Limit Hold'em is a really good holding, but when you get 4 cards in Pot Limit Omaha, it's very susceptible and vulnerable, as you see here.
Catching up the action here. Krensman limped small blind. Ivy made it 360K. Krensman called. It does go check here.
So all of our Pot Limit Omaha amateurs, notice that bottom 2 being checked back by Mr. Phil Ivey here. Doesn't want to just bet, get potted, and maybe have to release his hand. Now he turns more equity with the Queen of Diamonds. So he's got the Ace Jack working, drawing to the Broadway King for the nuts. He's got a flush draw now, and this is where he could decide to bet 2 pair, but he doesn't. He just continues to take his showdown to river, or his showdown value to the river, excuse me. And he is gonna fade the open-ended straight draw that we saw Krensman flop. And Krensman also has top pair with a pair of queens here.
Krensman checks. Ivy's just going to check back with that 2 pair. He's going to win it. So 2 early pots here for Phil Ivey. Both of them against Krensman. Start to chip up quite nicely.
It's a very good showcase of how what seemed to be strong in PLO, and you just see bottom 2 want to check it all the way.
We got more shade here. This one from AVB said Ivy is an all-time great. He's currently Jordan, but on the Wizards.
Oh my God, that is
Come on,
shade.
man.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on, in poker, he's still young. He's still young. He's probably halfway through his career. He's 4 or 4 championships so far, and you know. But when we talk about representation in poker, right? I think that's another thing that kind of adds to the allure of Phil Ivey, is that we don't see a lot of African Americans playing poker from the inception of poker boom, right? In 2000s, there wasn't a lot of representation. Now we're seeing more women get into the game. We're seeing people from all around the world come to the World Series of Poker. So I think that's another thing that's really added to Phil Ivey's success and his kind of mystique, is he's like the Tiger Woods of poker. And I hope that's not any kind of disparaging remark or anything, because I'm comparing one GOAT to another GOAT. But, you know, we know what kind of Tiger Woods had to go through in that round. And Phil Ivey had to go through things like that, but I'm sure in some capacity he did.
Ace 6 deuce here. We got 3-way action. Sinistage raised to 300K. Ayaz called. Bilal Shakurchi got the big blind and came along as well.
Cindy with a really big flop here. Top pair with the nut hearts. But Shakurchi has a pretty decent hold on himself. Backdoor diamonds, gut shot to the nuts with the 3. The king of hearts working. So ace king presently ahead, but has to fade a lot of equity.
We lose Ayaz on that flop. It remains Shakurchi and Sinistage here. Bilal's going to check.
And Cine probably, yeah, wants to just control the pot here. Knows he could maybe have the best of it, but wants to realize 100% of his equity, and he now holds 100% of the winning hand. Hershey coming with a block bet here. These are always interesting. Here board. How will Cine register this into his strategy?
This house calls with the nut flush. Takes a conservative approach, yes, but
yeah, if you think about all these combos, right? Pocket deuces, there's only one combo you lose to. You lose to ace deuce, you could lose to 6 deuce, 10 deuce, you know. It's pot limit Omaha, 4 cards, so you gotta be very cautious and really understand how the nuts change from street to street.
Octopi Poker is the next generation study system for everyone, from casual players to elite Steve and Chidwick. It's fun to use, it's affordable, and it is full of features. Head over to octopipoker.ai now and check it out. Again, that's octopipoker.ai. There is also an Octopi Poker booth here at Horseshoe at the World Series of Poker. So if you're in the area, if you're coming on down, they're going to be here all summer long. So check out the Octopi booth. It is in the Horseshoe. About a 50-foot walk from this table right here.
Yep. And they got a little kiosk set up where you can try the software. It's really cool. It's really fun. It puts you in the game. Basically, you can play spots that you've seen from other high rollers. And there's merchandise there. There's all kinds of stuff. Someone's there working the booth. Will definitely help you out. Oh, we got some big hands here.
Krentzman made it 420,000 with ace, king 4, queen, jack double suited.
I love the call by Ivy. I mean, typically without an ace in your hand, you don't want to start doing 3-betting because you don't block your opponent from having aces. But I do think maybe more amateur players kind of get stuck in the sauce looking at a hand that pretty. King, queen, jack double suited. But let's take our have the nuts and PLO, this is a very draw-heavy board, you see. Talal makes a little expression. He knows that's not the size of the pot.
Pot here from Krentzman.
And I don't know, chat, what do you guys think? Does Ivy have enough hand here to continue, right? His queen jack of hearts is a backdoor draw. Sure, he can draw to the 10 for the nuts, but we see, even in the face of a half pot bet, not enough to want to try to crack aces.
So Krentzman getting some chips back there from Ivy, who took some off him earlier. Jimmy Bluffett, the all-time GOAT mod in the chat, asked if we're playing to a winner today. We are not. We're going to play down to the final table. Could end with 5 players, 6 players, 7 players, something like that. Then they're going to come on back on Friday for the stream finale. So you're getting 2 days of coverage of this $25,000 buy-in PLO high roller. Back-to-back days here from Poker Go.
By accident.
I'm not sure I've ever heard Ivy ask someone else a question. Normally he's kind of quiet. He doesn't really want to engage with other people. People try and engage with him, but here he's the one, you know, asking a fun one. So it's a long. But they have a lot of experience, I'm sure. 2-7 with a suit for Ivy. 420. Talal's in there.
I noticed one of the strategies of Pot Limit Omaha is to make very big raises when you come to a pot. That's kind of counterintuitive to what we see in No Limit Hold'em, because you're usually playing shallower stack depths in No Limit Hold'em, and you want people to continue in the pot so you can have your range advantage. But in Pot Limit Omaha, we kind of see people wanting to force others out and build a pot.
8-6 deuce rainbow.
Ivy out of position, goes with a check, although he does have some stuff working here for him, even though neither player has connected with a pair. And just like that,
Somewhat rare that you have the check mark on the turn in PLO, but Ivy does here. And he's just going to check it and see if he can get Talal to hang himself a little bit.
and Talal basically with a bottom barrel hand now, no pair, no draw, but he does just concede.
Talal checks back, queen on the river.
Talal does have a blocker here to the Jack-10, but he just decides to just check this down with Ivy, and he's going to see Ivy's got a pretty good holding.
And he shoots him a look.
You ask me a question, then you try to trap me?
Tremendous stuff. Absolutely tremendous stuff.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gonna get a dealer change here. Speaking of tremendous stuff, it is tremendous that the NAPT Las Vegas is back at Resorts World for a third year in a row. November 3rd through 12th. Highlights on the schedule include the 50K Super High Roller, the 5K main event. There's also a 1K PokerStars Open at the beginning of the series. There's also a 1K Women's High Roller. PokerStars players in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Michigan, and Ontario. Check out the PokerStars platform for chances to win their way to NAPT Las Vegas. I'll be there. Hope to see you guys there. I'm a little bit upset that we haven't even hit 500 likes on the video on YouTube. So if you guys are watching, please, for the love of all things Phil Ivey, let's go. Smash the like button. Let's get right up over 1,000, and then let's start climbing. The more likes, the more engagement, the more YouTubes. We got to feed the algorithm, okay? We got to feed it. Obama over on PokerGo.com saying Ivy should have won the main, the moneymaker year. He got screwed. See, I was actually thinking about this today when I was doing some research about this spinal table, because now, had Ivy won, it's very likely we don't get the same type of poker room. Now, I don't think the poker room was all about moneymaker. I think it was a lot of different things that were, at play. But part of that was moneymaker, a guy from Tennessee, an accountant, winning whatever it was, a 40
like an
or
amateur
$80
kind
saddle.
of player too, right?
Yeah. So
beating all the pros.
If you get Ivy winning, do we have as big of a boom? I'm not sure. So I kind of agree. I remember watching it. I was gutted. I was like all in on Ivy, right? And I was gutted when he lost that hand to moneymaker and he ends up getting eliminated. But thinking back on it, I'm like, I don't know. It was probably better in the grand scheme of things.
And maybe, yeah, to your point, Donnie, maybe Ivy was kind of the poster child of defeat that year, because he's the big pro, he's the guy who's supposed to win, he's the guy who gets his money all in with the best of it against, was it Farha or was it Moneymaker? Wasn't it Farha that he played the huge pot against and got unlucky?
No, it was, Moneymaker with the...
Moneymaker did him in the end.
With the ace-queen
right,
versus the nines.
Okay, but I thought he got very unlucky against Farha in the pot too. But anyway, yeah, maybe he was just the poster boy for how anyone can come beat a pro. You just need a little bit of luck. Shakurchi with aces folds around to the big blind. Ace queen 5-4, 3 clubs, no ace high clubs. So, you know, Parliament Omaha, everyone, you want to draw to the nuts. Sure, you get 4 cards, but you want to draw to the nuts.
King 9 deuce here, rainbow. We've seen a lot of rainbow flops so far. Cranston's going to check. Wall's just going to continue here. 450 and a quick fold out of Krensman. All right, Chad, I might as well ask you guys, if you could go back in time to 2003, would you rewrite history and allow Ivy to win? Would you do it? Let me know. Say Ivy or Moneymaker. That's what I want to know.
Donnie's making me go back in the history. Get some of this stuff. Because what place did Ivy come that year? He came like 8th?
10th, I think.
Was 10th, okay.
Pretty sure it was 10th. A couple people right away rolling in with Ivy, including Trey, regular on the YouTube channel. What's up, Trey? Hoosier said, no, absolutely not. Moneymaker. Drew says Moneymaker. Ed says Moneymaker. Poker fan says Moneymaker.
I mean, you can't possibly have a better champion's name than Moneymaker.
I know, it
right?
was,
Like
it
that.
Was wild.
That was scripted.
It was absolutely. Vice Moneymaker is how we had the boom, so Moneymaker is my choice.
Yeah, but to Donnie's point earlier, there were so many things working for the elevation of online poker and poker in general at that time that who knows how the tides would have changed with some other champion.
Yeah, I mean,
Would
it was a lot of things working. You know, one, I think that, well, first, even from 2002 to 2003, there was a big boost in field size. You know, a lot of that had to do with the fact that, you know, poker was becoming more popular on the big stage. Yes, it was starting to get airtime on ESPN more so than it had been. Online satellites were a thing, hence Chris Moneymaker. You know, all that sort of stuff was working together. Then you just have the absolute perfect storm, lightning in a bottle, of Moneymaker going on to win the whole thing. A complete amateur at the time, recreational player. So much so that he didn't even want to play. If you guys remember the story, I believe it was he got 3-handed, and he basically tried to lose to take the 3rd place cash as opposed to getting one of the seats. He didn't want to play. He's like, listen, I'd rather just take the 4K or whatever it was. He gets in, he ends up selling a bunch of money off to his buddy, so, you know, it works out that he is able to get some cash, but, you know, and then he just goes on to win the whole thing. The whole situation was scripted.
Okay, now we talked about dominating hands and drawing to the nuts just recently, and we see Ivy defend the big blind here with Queen 10-7-5, the 10-7 of spades, dominated by the King 4 of spades. But Ivy gets to the river with no showdown, and he does just give up, announce Queen High, and he's going to lose to the Kings. I wasn't sure if that was a spot that Ivy might try to pounce, but the legend is too measured.
Well, now twice between both of these players. You know, earlier, a couple hands ago, Talal didn't bet when Ivy turned that straight, right? He didn't take the opportunity to bluff, which he might have been a jack in his hand.
Damn, just made 15 gold from doing that shit.
But he didn't take the opportunity.
2
There, Ivy
Boweries,
didn't take
2
the
minor
opportunity.
speeds.
Here's a look out at the secondary table.
Yeet!
Yep, Ben Lamb in the
Animated
1 hole.
gold from fucking Nutter
Mickey
City.
Dueck next to him. You got
For
Jeff Hakeem.
16 gold
You got
chilling,
Bryn
bro.
Kenny, and then Black Hat, Black Sweatshirt. That's Lataro Guerra. If you don't know Lataro Guerra, one of the absolute best PLO players in the world. PLO series a couple of years ago. He came into that series as an unknown to me. Cashed in 3 events, won all 3 of them.
Crazy. That's unreal. And didn't he just win a big PLO? Yeah.
I don't
10K,
remember where
think.
it was, but I do remember he won something.
Yeah, I think he might have won $1 million 10K.
I think he's had success at Triton stops. Like he's now certainly becoming I believe he originally kind of played high stakes cash games PLO, and now has really taken to the tournament scene, as so many of these guys do. Ayez here, the Aussie, King, King, Jack, Deuce. It's at 420. Krentzman's going to call in position with ace 10, 9, 6 double. John Antilla said, Ivy will mess this up, of course. Well, so far he hasn't. So far everything has worked out. Ivy's played well. Poker gods have helped him too. And he has basically doubled the stack here in the early going. 8-7-6 flop here. Krentzman just flops the goods with the 10-9.
For the horde!
How can you? I mean, not just at the poker, the guy has legendary gambling experience. How many people do you know have battled a casino in the pits and then taken them on legally? What?
Well, that was, I mean, he got the rough end.
He got screwed there,
I mean,
of course. We've seen other cases be solved in the favor of, you know, the people that brought the case to court, and he did, you know, nowadays we see it happening, but he didn't win. That's crazy. But that's just, you make movies about that kind of stuff. Like, that's legendary.
Another under the gun limp here. We saw it from Ivy earlier. This time we see it from Ayaz.
They can't join our group.
Kind of interesting to see him limp this hand. I know it is double suited, but to me, a more of a novice eye, it looks a little bit more disconnected than you might want it to be.
It is a little bit, but the middling cards, the 5, 7, 8, have good interaction on that board coverage. Kind of the idea of board coverage, it has good interaction there when you're going to get those middling flops. If it was a weaker, like 3, 4, 5, you're never really going to see those hands play as much. But when you get into the 5, 6, 7, 8 area, then yeah. But yeah, look at Cine, even Cine here with King, Queen, Jack, Jack in the big blind, just wanting to see a flop, sure. Ivy flopping best with aces up on the button, but we see now the reason all these equities are so
They can't join our group.
shifty is because we just have so many people in the pot. Once people exit the pot, if we do see Ivy bet his aces up here, we'll see this kind of get maybe heads up between him and Cine, if Cine does want to continue with his queen high flush draw. And then we'll see the equity shift as people exit the pot. And look at that. I'm not drawn to the nuts. I'm just out.
Action folds back over here to Krentzman. He's paused on him right now. Has a pair of sixes. Has a gutter to a 4, but not good enough. In the muck it goes. That's another one for Ivy. You know what the music means? The music means it's promo time, baby. Let's go. Play Poker Go is where the action never stops. Jump into free online poker. That's right, I said it, guys. It is free online poker. Real competition, zero risk. You can grind ring games, run deep in tournaments. You can also spin the wheel of gain. Brand new, no gamble, no future themed sit and goes. No deposits, no bots, no gimmicks, just pure, authentic, free online poker. Play now at playpokergo.com. You can also get it on iOS and Android. Check that out today. Playpokergo.com, the home of free online poker. I say it all the time, and it is something that it is true. I try and play in there every single day. I was in there about an hour and a half ago. I played maybe 7 hands. I stacked some, and then I left.
You hit and ran somebody?
Yeah, of course.
On
You know,
the
that's
Poker
part of the
Go Play
fun.
app? Come on.
I like to get in there and like kind of troll people.
They can't join our group. They can't join our group. I'm out of range.
Thousand experience per hour that I got with 2 bars of rest, and so I got 6 bars that run. So that would be about 400 to 450,000 experience per hour that we can really cap out at, but I'm going to say about 300,000 experience per hour on average. We're going to dive through specifically how to do the pool. I'm really going to break it down, go through individual kind of like intricate kind of aspects of it, and then after that we're going to go through the gear and talents, and then we're going to have an actual full run through of 58 uninterrupted for anyone who just wants to follow along as they go through the runs, trying to focus on kind of like their runs themselves. So we are going to have timestamps for those down in the description down below. If you'd like to see any of this live on Twitch, check out my Twitch link down below and hit that subscribe button for more videos like this. Okay, so we're going to start off with my level 59 run. So this was the last run that we did to get level 60. Now the reason why I'm starting off with this run and not my 58 run is that I made minor improvements along the way, and I want to be able to pause this video and actually work through those minor improvements to make sure that you guys have the best possible run that you could be doing. Now, that being said, I will have the level 58 run after this video, where you can just watch it all the way through. We'll have some music, and it's just going to be uninterrupted, so you can just follow along if you want to follow along. So that being said, we're going to come over into the right side. We're going to go in through the water. And so if you're level 58, you're actually able to sneak through the water, swimming down to the bottom, and not aggro these pats up on the left, or these mobs up on the left here. So what you do is you jump into the water, swim down to the bottom, and then hug around the side, jump up to the mountain, jump down, and start making your way to the reset spot. Now, it's very important that you get started quickly, because the Berserker has a specific patting that you want to be able to maximize, and it only works perfectly every single time when you come into the instance the first time. So you want to get actually over to the spot where we're going to be pulling around the Berserker. Sneak through the water works a specific kind of we want to get actually over to the spot where we're going to be pulling around the Berserker. We're going to go in through the water. And so if you're level 58, you're actually able to sneak through the water, swimming down to the bottom, and not aggro these pats up on the left, or these mobs up on the left here. So what you do is you jump into the water, swim down to the bottom, and then hug around the side, jump up to the mountain, jump down, and start making your way to the reset spot. Now, it's very important that you get started quickly, because the Berserker has a specific patting that you want to be able to maximize, and it only works perfectly every single time when you come into the instance the first time. So you want to get actually over to the spot where we're going to be pulling around the Berserker quickly. And so what we do here, we go up to the top of the mountain. We're going to jump off. There's some pats over here which you could potentially aggro. Don't worry about them. They're not going to kill you. Just make sure that you're mounted. There's also axe thrower pats that are patting back here over in the corner, walking down. But as long as you go there quickly, you won't even need to worry about that when you come in this instance around this side. So we're going to get over to the reset spot. Now the reset spot is this first kind of, I don't know, tree branch, whatever you want to call it, right here. And this is actually a reset spot. What you noticed that I did though was I jumped past it and then jumped back on it. That is going to help reset the mobs quicker. So make sure that when you're coming over this, you jump over the branch, the root. We'll call it a root. Jump over the root and jump back onto it on the other side, and that is really going to help you to be able to reset the mobs quicker. But now we can see that the Berserker is on his way back, and so this is always going to be the case. He might be over here, but he's always going to be on the way back, which means you're only going to need to wait about 15 seconds to get your pull started. As soon as he crosses over pretty much past this fern that you see right here, you're able to start the pull. And so we're going to work our way around the side of this tree, get to the other part of it. And so what you do is you could jump up on the top of the tree and jump over, or you can, you know, shimmy your way up that route. Practice it a little bit. You'll be able to get it easily. Get full shields, get full mana, and go ahead and jump off. Now, what you want to be doing is you want to be jumping off behind here. You're automatically going to aggro the crocs, but then you want to run behind the fern and jump constantly. Now, this jumping is going to help you to avoid taking too much damage by running up and scaling this mountain. You'll see that I did drop to 139, but overall 139 isn't too bad. As long as you still have your shields, you're doing pretty well. Even if you lose your shields though, as long as you don't get dazed, you're going to be okay. Now the other thing that you want to do is as soon as you get past those crocs, you want to start hugging the inside near the water. Now the reason you want to hug the water is that we're going to need to turn back around and avoid the crocs that we just aggroed on the way back up kind of this hill over here. So by hugging the inside, the crocs are going to have the most inner pathing to allow us to work our way around them. So here we hug the inside, we go and just aggro these crocs with the face pull, but now you can see that the crocs down here are closer to the water because we hug the water, allowing us to escape along the outside perimeter up here without taking any damage. Now sometimes I've done this with full shields, sometimes I've had no shields at all. Have as much shields as you can, obviously, but you will make it work. Up here you want to slow down just a little bit, wait to make sure that the crocs are kind of aggregated and a little bit close. If you don't wait too long enough, you could potentially aggro this group in the corner, but you probably won't. Hug the inner wall, and as long as you're 58, being pretty close to this inner wall, you're not going to pull the group that's right behind us right now. When you come into this tiger room, what you want to do is you want to pull that tiger at max range like that, and then work your way over to the corner and pull that tiger at max range, and come over into this corner and kind of zigzag over to get to this waterfall. If you pull those tigers just like that, so I'll show that again. If you pull these tigers where you're max ranging this mob and you're going to kind of pull like right around here and then you go in and immediately jut out, you're not going to take any damage from these tigers, but you're going to be able to aggro every single one, which is going to maximize the XP that you get while at the same time not losing tigers. You're going to jump off and you're going to slow fall into the water. Don't blink typically. Now, if you are low health and you're worried about getting hit by one of these fish, go ahead and blink, but typically you won't need to blink there. What you want to do is you want to immediately get up to this high point on this kind of mountain right here. You still have your slow fall from the most recent jump. You jump into the water. As soon as you get into the water, you blink, aggro this crocodile scoop on the right. Sometimes or on the left. Sometimes he's going to auto aggro. Otherwise, just aggro him. Run over through these crocs and Nova. And now you want to run up against this wall right here, hugging the wall to make sure that you don't fall into the water. Now, what you also noticed is that as I came across here with this croc, I did jump turn Kona Cold him. So we want to be as quick as possible so that the tigers that are over here are not caught up to us because we're going to be on our feet. We don't have a mount to go quickly like we do when we're on 60 with Epic Mount and things like that, making it a lot easier. It's a lot more difficult for timing purposes when you're a lower level. And so we want to make sure that we have the maximum distance. Those tigers will catch up. Don't even worry about them. But as soon as we pull this croc, he's going to get to us pretty quickly. So we need to jump, turn, Kona Cold. And so what you're going to see is that within the first few seconds, I'm running this way, I jump, turn, Kona Cold, and slow that croc. The other option is just to wait until he gets into these kind of crocs right here and jump Nova to Nova all those crocs along with that croc that's behind you. Jumping while Novaing is going to extend the leeway range, allowing you to hit more mobs with that Nova. So that's why we would jump. Come around the bend here, and what you actually want to do is you want to make sure that you run up this route. Even if you fall into the water, run up the route. What's going to happen is that when you run up the route, the mobs actually, for whatever reason, will also try to run up the route and then come back down. This gives you an extra about 2 seconds gap. Now, I unfortunately did not run up the route there. I failed, and so the mobs catch up pretty closely. But if you were to run up the route, they would kind of shimmy backwards, and then you'll have a little bit more distance on the mobs. You're going to then go bolting straight. Now, as a level 60, with shimmy your way up you to be able to was I jump. But as long as you go there quickly, you won't even need to worry about that when you come in this instance around this side. So we're going to get over here, which you can only works that spot. Actually able to jump down and start making your way perfectly every single time when you come into the instance the first time. So you want to get actually over to the spot where we're going to be pulling around the Berserker quickly. And so what we do here, we go up to the top of the mountain. We're going to jump off. There's some pats over here which you could potentially aggro. Don't worry about them. They're not going to kill you. Just make sure that you're mounted. There's also axe thrower pats that are patting back here over in the corner, walking down. But as long as you go there quickly, you won't even need to worry about that when you come in this instance around this side. So we're going to get over to the reset spot. Now the reset spot is this first kind of, I don't know, tree branch, whatever you want to call it, right here. And this is actually a reset spot. What you noticed that I did though was I jumped past it and then jump back on it. Jump off. There's some pats over here which you could is this first kind of, I don't know, tree branch, whatever you want to call it, right here. And this is actually a reset spot. What you noticed that I did though was I jumped past it and then jump back on it. That is going to help reset the mobs quicker. So make sure that when you're coming over this, now what you want to be doing is you want to now work your way around the side of this tree, get to the other part of it. And so what you do is you could jump up on the top of the tree and jump over, or you can, shimmy your way up that route. Practice it a little bit. You'll be able to get it easily. Get full shields, get full mana, and go ahead and jump off. Now, what you want to be doing is you want to be jumping off behind here. You're automatically going to aggro the crocs, but then you want to run behind the fern and jump constantly. Now, this jumping is going to help you to avoid taking too much damage by running up and scaling this mountain. You'll see that I did drop to 139, but overall 139 isn't too bad. As long as you still have your shields, you're doing pretty well. Even if you lose your shields, though, as long as you don't get dazed, you're going to be okay. Now, the other thing that you want to do is as soon as you get past those crocs, you want to start hugging the inside near the water. Now, the reason you want to hug the water is that we're going to need to turn back around and avoid the crocs that we just aggroed on the way back up. Kind of this. Those have had no shields down here are closer to the. So by hugging the inside, the crocs, we hug the inside, we go and just aggro these crocs with the face pull. But now you can see that the outside perimeter had no shields at all. You want to slow down just a little bit, wait to potentially aggro this group in the corner, but you probably won't. Group that's right behind us right now. When you come into this tiger room, what you want to do is you want to pull that tiger at max range like that, and then work your way over to the corner and pull that tiger at max range, and come over into this corner and kind of zigzag over to get to this waterfall. If you pull those tigers just like that, so I'll show that again. If you pull these tigers where you're max ranging this mob, and you're going to kind of pull like right around here, and then you go in and immediately jut out, you're not going to take any damage from these tigers, but you're going to be able to aggro every single one, which is going to maximize the XP that you get, while at the same time not losing tigers. You're going to jump off and you're going to slow fall into the water. Don't blink typically. Now, if you are low health and you're worried about getting hit by one of these fish, go ahead and blink, but typically you won't need to blink there. What you want to do is you want to immediately get up to this high point on this kind of mountain right here. You still have your slow fall from the most recent jump. You jump into the water. As soon as you get into the water, you blink, aggro this crocodile group on the right. Sometimes or on the left. Sometimes he's going to auto aggro. Otherwise, just aggro him. Run over through these crocs and Nova, and now you want to run up against this wall right here, hugging the wall to make sure that you don't fall into the water. Now, what you also noticed is that as I came across here with this croc, I did jump turn Kona Cold him. So like that, a lower cold, and jump Nova to Nova all of those crocs along with that croc that's behind you. Jumping while Novaing is going to extend the leeway range, allowing you to hit more mobs with that Nova. So that's why we would jump. Come around the bend here, and what you actually want to do is you want to make sure that you run up this route. Even if you fall into the water, run up the route. What's going to happen is that when you run up the route, they're about too closely. You're going to then go bolt me back there, I back down. Run up the route, this route. So that's why we would jump. Come around the bend here, and what you actually want to do is you want to make sure that you run up this route. Even if you fall into whatever reason, I unfortunately did not run up the route there, I failed, and so the mobs catch up pretty closely. But if you were to run up the route, they would kind of shimmy backwards, and then you'll have a little bit more distance on the mobs. You're going to then go bolting straight. Now, as a level 60, with Epic Mount, we want to wait up on this hill a little bit over here to make sure that the mobs can catch up to us so we don't pull the Berserker around the Hakar Temple. However, when we're a lower level, we don't need to worry about that because these mobs are going to be pretty close to us already since we're not on our mount running around the side of the Hakar Temple. And so we could just bolt straight to the next mobs. You want to hug the left side so you take as little damage as possible, Nova these crocs, and then jump into the water and blink across. Make sure that you jump into the water as much as you can, kind of like a swimmer or something. You want to get as far into the water with your jump. Here, it's okay if you get hit by a mob. Get your full barrier up, get your full mana shield up, and then aggro this croc. And I like to blink into the crocs from there. Nova, keep on running forward, reapply with Cold Snap. And now here's very important how we're going to aggro all these mobs. We're going to Cold Snap. We're going to Ice Barrier. We're going to counterspell this croc, which is off a GCD, and we're going to lip right around here. What's going to happen is that the mobs on the left are going to catch up to us. The mobs on the right are going to catch up to us. And the mobs that are frozen are going to be lagging behind a little bit, but typically you freeze them a little bit earlier, so then they aren't lagging behind. But at the end of the lip, that allows us with the Cold Snap to go ahead and freeze them all again as we run away. So lip, we're waiting. After about 1 second left on lip, we're going to move to left, Nova, and it Novas pretty much all the mobs. Now, one of them might get through, two of them might get through, whatever, that's fine. You could jump turn, go to cold them. You can just leave on Frost Armor to get them. That's perfectly fine. Now, the other thing that we notice is that these serpents up here are actually on the side. So it's the Son of Hakar and the Soul Flares. And so in order to avoid them, what I like to do is just blink through the water, come over to this side, and then we're good to go. And you'll see that I Nova'd that croc there just to make sure that he gets back into the normal path. At this point, we can swap back over to our Mage Armor and get ready for a kill phase. You can see that I don't need a ton of mana, so I'm at 20% mana. We're going to be regenning a lot of mana as you go through here, and so we want to just focus on kind of getting to the spots, and we'll just work on the kill phase and getting through it with rank 1 Blizzards. If we get through it with rank 1 Blizzards, it's perfectly fine. What you want to do is you actually want to come, and there's a specific spot on this rope that you want to come jump up to. Now, if you need to blink here, if the mobs are too close, blink. Don't risk the mobs taking too long to get to the rope because they could bug out and kind of follow you up the rope. If they do follow you up the rope, just kind of shimmy back on top of the rope. Just walk backwards or sideways or something, trying to get them to reset. But if necessary, you might have to jump back into the water and reset back around the side, noving them and getting right back up to the spot. But the rope that you're aiming for is right here. So it's the second rope right after the gap in the middle. This second rope right after the gap in the middle works pretty much perfectly for me and never causes issues. So what we do is we run up against it and jump up. Now you can see the tigers are coming and the crocs are coming from us from this side. Swap back over. We rank 1 Blizzard. We're trying to group these mobs up as quickly as possible. Now typically I would go for another rank 1 Blizzard just to kind of stack them. So basically within these groups, I did get a clear casting proc, that's why I didn't. Within these groups, there are cubs. Now these cubs will run away from you if they are not continuously Blizzard. So you got to be really quick with the Blizzard. And you want to burn them down quick so that when they do start running away from you, they're dying quickly after that. So what I like to do actually is I like to focus on rank 1 Blizzards to allow the groups to stack up. So how do we do that? We focus on Blizzarding the front mobs, and you'll see that we occasionally have some runners like that who actually are out of the range. So right here, these two mobs right here, because we place the Blizzard at the front of the pack, are behind the pack enough where they're not getting hit by Blizzard. With our front mobs, you do max Blizzard the entire time, right? Because the Blizzard's not going to do a ton of damage. It's not costing you a ton of mana. You're just using it to stack the mobs. And so if, you know, all the mobs are grouped and they have 2 seconds left on it, jump back up and start doing another Blizzard because you just want to make sure that you keep the debuff on them at all times. Here you can see the debuff's going to run off some of the mobs. They run forward. And so we're just trying to condense them as much as possible. Once we feel like they're condensed, we're going to go into max rank Blizzard. And so max rank Blizzard, we're trying to burn down the cubs as quickly as possible. Now, max rank Blizzard, you pretty much want to go the full duration. However, because we didn't get off the next Blizzard quick enough because we messed up the jump, you're going to see that the cubs did sneak through. So this is what we're worried about. We want to make sure that we're burning down the cubs so that this does not happen. If it does, they're going to try to run to the mobs behind us. We need to jump up onto the rope. We need to Nova them, and then we need to kill them. Depending on their positioning, you can kill them with a Cone of Cold, or you can kill them with Arcane Explosion, something like that. As soon as the cubs are dead, though, things get a lot easier. We could just focus on getting down the Crocs and making sure that we keep them in a good position. You can see that we have a really good stack here, so I'm just going to focus on max rank blizzarding and letting the max rank blizzards go all the way through, just because we do have so many of them. And so burning them down, we're watching our mana. You're going to notice that I also did evocate earlier. Now, when you go for an evocate, I want to focus on that just for a second. Goes down into the description down below. The reason why I'm starting off with this run and not my 58 run is that I made minor improvements along the way, and I want to be able to pause this video and actually work through the swimming down to the bottom and not aggro these pats quickly, because the Berserker has a specific patting that you want to be able to maximize, and it only works perfectly every single time when you come into the instance the first time. So you want to get actually over to the spot where we're going to be pulling around the Berserker quickly. And so what we do here, we go up to the top of the mountain. We're going to jump off. There's some pats over here which you could potentially aggro. Don't worry about them. They're not going to kill you. Just make sure that you're mounted. There's also axe thrower pats that are patting back here over in the corner. What is up, everybody? It is Og here, back with another video, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at how to do the ZG 11 pack pool. So that's the most packs you can pull with no epic mount, no noggin foggers, and no lips. And so there's been a couple videos that have come out showing how to do the no lip pool and things like that, and so shout out to them for doing those as well. But I wanted to provide my perspective, and a lot of people asked me to do it in stream. So the other day, I recorded it live on stream. The goal here is to actually pull these two axe throwers. So the safest spot that you can be in is over in that waterfall that I just showed there just for half a second right here. And so over in this waterfall, your boosties can sit on the middle of this middle rock and they won't get aggro the entire time. So they just go up there and sit there. But in order for them to get there, you have to pull these two axe throwers. Now, if the boosties are level 55, they can chill in this other safe spot over here. Or if they're at least level 51, they could also go here. But sometimes those don't work perfectly depending on where you kill the mobs on the bridge. So the safest safe spot to use is this waterfall. And just use these as kind of like a contingency plan. So what I do is I pop a light feather, I aggro these two, and then I actually just jump off here. So you can see me just jumping off into the water. The axe throwers will follow me. And as soon as the axe throwers leave that location, your boosties can then go to the middle of the waterfall and chill up there. Now, up here, we obviously have this croc pack on the right, but what you need to do is you need to jump up on this little space over here, and you actually won't pull the crocs.
They can't join our group. They can't join our group.
Would you rather trust your goods with a goblin?
Besides the grunts outside, my brothers and I fought at the Battle of Hyjal. Any who seek to steal from the bank must face us first.
Be safe.
Besides the grunts outside, my brothers and I fought at the Battle of Hyjal. Any who seek to steal from the bank must face us first. Besides the grunts outside, my brothers and I fought at the Battle of Hyjal. Any who seek to steal from the bank must face us first.
They can't join our group.
Farewell.
Yes. They can't join our group. They can't join our group. How may I be of service? Our time will come. How may I be of service? Beware the living.